Good morning, New Eden! Today is April 10th, 2022, and this is the Federation Frontline Report, a podcast where we interview the players of EVE Online and go over faction warfare news. I'm your host, Frozen Fallout, and my co-host is Samson.
Good morning, New Eden. How's it going, everybody? Today we are interviewing NeoNxGreen, a member of Unlimited 2.0 and the Infinite Pew Alliance, who are part of the Minmatar Republic. How's space treating you these days, Neon?
Hi guys, space is treating me pretty good these days. Min Mills in Tier 5, we've been kicking ass, and
Hell yeah.
it's just been going good.
So you guys have been maintaining Tier 5.
That's right. It's been like that for at least about 2 weeks now. We've been maintaining Tier 5. So we're on the edge of it. I don't know. I got the screen here. We're at 80.2, but we're still maintaining Tier 5 as of right now. So,
yeah, it's really the game of like you go in and out of that tier usually, as if it's like you're pushing the most extreme of what you guys want to do. Then it's usually like it'll hover. I remember a lot of the times, like sometimes you'd come back on and you'd log in. It's like you're logging in during the time where it's just below that average, which does kind of encourage me a lot of the times to go out and start like seeding stuff. So are you doing a lot of that? Like, do you guys have an area that you're maintaining? Are you contributing to the like boosting of systems?
A lot of us have been donating some LP to boost the systems, but there was a lot of talk about this. I'm more of the pew, let's supply ships kind of guy and whatnot, and everyone else is like, let's get Tier 5, and I'm like, okay. But from my understanding is we just basically had to get to Tier 4 to push the bot farmers over till they start plexing the Warzone quite a bit harder, and then we got to go finish off the solar systems. We were flipping like 5 systems a day, sometimes 3 to 5 systems a day, simply because the bot farmers come in and plex the systems up crazy high. We have to go over there, and certain systems plex much harder on, when we did our battle for Flosswin. That was a slugfest between us and locals primary, like their fortress system. They're at their fortress systems now. They don't want to give them up. And that's kind of where we're at. But a lot of the systems fell with little to no resistance. And the interesting thing about Infinite Pew Alliance, my alliance, is that we're all mostly late night time zone dudes. And the locals primary, the big Amar group, is mostly Eastern US time zone dudes. So they all go to bed, and like around 11 p.m. to 1 a.m. our time, we got free reign on pretty much everything that's going on out here. So we're able to flip all those systems without any resistance for the most part at those late time zones.
You're not even getting like pirate resistance at this point.
I mean, there's been a very low amount of activity, like in general, as far as all of fighting has happened in the last week near Asset between Minmatar and Amar at the moment. Asset is locals' primary home, and we went for it, and we've been putting pressure on it. We wanted to circle the wagons, and we're not really getting too far on Asset. I'm not going to lie right now, but we're working on it. We keep hammering away at them. It's actually very interesting. I mean, from your own podcast, we got some very interesting intel about the Amar on how most of them are 4-to-1 players. They PvP 4 tunes, one person per 4 tunes at the same time.
Yeah, and that's mixed into the Caldari too, because
yep, that's a Diana Kim. And
Diana, the name who shall not be named. They have Amar and Caldari tunes, and they plex them at the same time. And it's interesting though that you said you've been having a lot of systems fall without resistance, because that actually happened to me a few days ago. I just kept telling Frozen was busy, and I just kept sending a message. We just took this. We just took that. We just took this.
Yeah, it's been the same thing
for
us.
3 systems fairly close to each other that were plexed pretty hard. So we were just literally just going from one bash to the next.
Yeah, as you can see, we're at 53 systems now. I mean, a month ago we were at like what, 10 or something like that, 12.
So the pendulum be swinging.
So, but the question is, are your bots that have come over there to start flipping your systems for you, are they Minmatar or are they
I've been hearing
No
they're
idea.
Minmatar.
See, because
Yeah, there you go.
that's what we were thinking. We were thinking, okay, we got it at tier 4. We're running out of systems to plex here. And so what happened is I think all the farmers decided to cut over to your Warzone where they can get maximum LP from Minmatar and still get, full site credit. Like when you're running out of systems, except for fortress systems, people are going to come around here and blow you up and kick you out of the system. That's just all there is to it. So those farmers all traversed to your Warzone, I think, and just started doing the same thing.
Yeah, that's what I've been hearing a lot about. I don't see, the thing is that I hang out like in Tama, Old Man Star, so I haven't seen the bots there lately. They used to be really bad in the Taurus like area.
Yeah, I haven't seen them much either, but
they're out there. I'm sure it's something. That's one thing is that all of this seems to be really stealth to me. To a certain
well, it's like they're probably
it's the morning time zone. Well, from my understanding, it's downtime, right? So as soon as downtime strikes, that's when the iron is hot to like flex the living hell out of the world.
Right.
Right. Well, because of all the spawn, like there's like a huge, massive spawn.
Yeah,
and
when the Tauros was getting close to being bashed, I did notice that since there was like no activity in that area. Not early in the morning, but in the morning when I started, there were like 6 small plexes and 3 novices and 3 mediums and 2 opens, all really just sitting there.
That means that would be a really easy change for them. I feel like is to like really seed that shit out and not have a massive dump at uptime.
Yeah, that definitely would help. I mean, like, and that's another thing. Oh, that's a little bit of a tangent too, but we've kind of lost our time zone for that era, that kind of area, our Russian kind of time zone because of the conflict going on. We don't have round the clock coverage like we used to, and people who would chase the hostile bots out sometimes. Now that the bots are on our side now, but it used to be that's the time zone they come out with downtime and everything like that. So
yep.
Sorry.
Yeah. No, yeah, absolutely. It's a weird thing to see like the bots. Really, like the market forces control this shit. Like you fight as hard as you possibly can, and then all of a sudden, like you just have this like wave that just appears, and you're just taking system after system. Everything is at like 90%. None of your systems are getting hit, and for me, it's like I'm not like out there like really keeping a really close eye on who's doing what and who's flying where and who's plexing where at all. So like it just seems like this like tsunami just appears out of nowhere. Like no.
I mean, I will say that I have a lot of coverage personally, but I haven't seen as many bots. However, I don't pay as much attention to bots that are allied with me. So
True.
a lot of the Minmatars could have been bots for all I know. But I do know that before we joined faction warfare, I killed all the bots at like all the time, and there was a lot of Amar, and I saw Minmatar too.
Yeah, I do remember that was a big thing, was seeing like the Amar and Minmatar over here when we were in Notorious, and yeah, it used to be like really bad, like, but I haven't seen it a lot lately, which is,
but I think I'm wondering because we're not online.
I think it's also there's a different area to bot that's much better at this point. When it was just Notorious kind of like was like Galente for a long time, and it was like things were getting nuddled down. People were, that's a great system to go plex at, I feel like. But since it's flipped and everything, nobody really cares about it, and so it's
right, I gotcha.
But it's nice to have our homeland back.
And then Nissa was dangerous, and Tama is dangerous, so the bots are not likely to really care about those.
Yeah,
the bots, yes, absolutely.
Yeah. Tama's
and everybody else. And everybody else.
When we can't find something to do, we come over to Tama.
Yeah, go to Tama. If you want to fight, if there's nothing going on anywhere, just go to Tama. You'll find a fight.
No doubt. So. But yeah, but I think that had a lot of contributed when we went tier 5. I think like I said, flipping 3 to 5 systems a day, no problem. And now it's just fortress systems left. And I've heard so many suggestions on your guys' podcast of things that chain faction warfare and whatnot. But even just that simple make the rat scram the player when it comes in or something like that would fix just this bot problem, you know.
It would
for the opposing for oplexing,
for oplexing,
and
so but
I feel like defensive plexing should have the same thing. There should be another bot in there or another bot,
but how does
an
that work?
NPC that those two NPCs should be shooting at each other, don't have the DPS to kill each other because they
it's
don't.
just like a permanent battle
That's going on between two NPCs that a player needs to intervene in on, and that it should disengage from,
and then it would disengage and scram you,
you know, and it should be a diamond rat, not you know, and it should, but the thing is that it adds in a different element though, because when you are hunting, then it becomes a lot harder to like choose your targets. Like I do a lot of like hanging out and just waiting and sitting there, you know, waiting for somebody to come and kill me, and I killed them back, and it's like, holy shit, he's not a bot.
Yeah, like, oh, this one hurts a little bit.
Yeah, this one's a real one. All right, let's get him.
That's true. That does happen.
Just sometimes I want to see the victims, the face of my victims that are just like, what? That's bullshit. You had newts? Like, Jesus Christ, you can't have newts. That's against the law.
Well, it's like when there were so many coercer bots in the Tauros, if you just fit up a coercer and sit inside a plex, someone would come in.
They would
get blapped. Until they recognize your name, I guess.
I also
don't know.
Go ahead.
Oh, go ahead.
I was just say I've also noticed the bots are getting smarter. I don't normally make a hobby of trying to chase down bots around, but I was chasing one that was ticking me off because we took the Dal area recently. We moved out ahead of Zico, moved into Dal. We were thinking about a move anyway, but we got a new fleet commander named Bear the Cares. He's been invaluable to our group. Awesome dude, old Tri-FC. But he's like, I think if we moved everything in the Dal, it would really centralize the faction warfare Minmatar militia. And it really has. With the market seated now in Dal, there's contracts. It's awesome. But there was like a couple bots, because we always keep those systems low, for Amar, who kept plexing it up. And he warped to like 5 different, this bot would rotate between 5 different safe spots. And I had to keep waiting till he hit his one safe spot, hit the scan, get closer until finally I got it. And then I warped to a safe spot. Eventually he just rotated around and landed there and I could kill this bot. But I mean, like, that's ridiculous. I mean, that's clearly a computer program, you know, doing this stuff, and reporting bot doesn't seem to do anything when you right click and go report bot.
I did it a lot, and I think at one point one of them I got like an email that said that they were removed, but the reporting does kind of suck because it's hard, I guess, maybe to tell because of how intelligent they are. But I have noticed that the one thing that never fails to be able to catch them is they still haven't really they still haven't set their programs to be able to scan plexes before they get there, right? Like that's something that an actual player can do, right? Nail your scan down, check the plex, nothing in it, go warp to it. Their auto descan seemed to only scan, you know, what's nearby. So they would arrive, check inside, something inside, then leave, nothing inside, go in. But that's how I always caught bots. They would land on top of me. I would know what size plex they would normally go to because I'd been there so many times.
Yeah,
and
you followed the pattern because
I followed the pattern because you could not catch them inside the plex. If they were inside, they'd be gone before you warped in every single time because they auto descan and warp off.
I know some folks who start leaving empty ships inside plexes just to keep the bots away, just so they're like, oh, there's a ship in there, forget it, and it just be
that
like
makes sense. That makes
a
sense
Navitas
too.
or something really cheap. So
I've also shot a lot of those lately, empty ships. But I also feel like some of them are just plexing in empty ships that aren't actually bots. They're like half, and then there's the possibility that some are smarter than others because they might have several bots going and then might notice that someone like you are chasing them around and then hop on that tune and actually control it.
Yeah, I have seen that too. Like I'd be like, are you a bot? Are you a bot? I'm just hanging on to him, and finally the thing starts talking, and it's not good English ever. That's the other thing I've noticed, right? And they're talking to you. I'm like, oh, okay, got it. All right, so you're someone somewhere over there.
I'm not a bot.
Yeah. So I am a culprit of using like an empty ship though to deplex. actually a Galente tune that I'm using to deplex, because your LP is worth still a lot more ISK per LP for Galente LP than the Minmatar.
You can make some really. I mean, that's the kind of the weird market forces of everything. You know, as you get higher in tier, you're not making as much money. The only one that really hurts is tier 1. I feel like tier 1 is where like that's when, you know, taking the 50% hit, the market doesn't quite catch up all the way down to the 50%, and usually kind of expects you to be at about, you know, tier 1, and if you get, or tier 2, and if you get higher than that, the market kind of reacts by becoming way cheaper. But yeah, I find that is one thing that I really wish that there was a way, like you said. I think having rats be more of a scram. One thing too is I think take the timer out for offensive plexing for the rat being there, and make the rat a little bit more tough. You know,
yeah. So like if it was stronger and the timer keeps going while you're fighting, maybe it can't be captured while it's alive.
Well,
you know what I mean.
Well, the one thing about it is that what I'm thinking about is toughness and the ability to take hits. And if it's scramming you, and it's these crazy, you know, fucking rats that are super fast, they're gonna scram and web you, and they're or well not.
And they're tough,
I think it would just be point, you know, like a long 20, 30, 40 point, you know, long point thing that it would hold you the fuck down.
Yeah,
like
point,
you're gonna be in this
within the, at the very least, be able to cover the entire 30-kilometer.
Capture ring. That would make a lot.
Yeah,
of
the
sense.
capture ring. So like if you go out of the capture ring, maybe it will unpoint you, or something like that.
Yeah, that would be something like that. You have to be careful about how much can. The problem is, no matter any barrier you put up, they're gonna try and get around it. The only thing that kind of helps is that if you're pointing them, they have to stay. Like, but that's anybody who goes in there that's of the opposing faction is gonna have to stay as well, and that's the thing that I think concerns a lot of people that use plexes to make money and to kind of get fights. But the make money one are like, totally fuck that. That's bullshit. Like, I don't want to lose every once in a while.
A lot of the make money is bots.
Yeah.
Right.
That's the problem.
Even the people that are not bots, though, are like, I don't want to be held down into a plex when I'm making money.
Yeah, true.
And there's a lot of people just trying to make money off of faction warfare.
It definitely helps out our lower tier guys. Like, they're not. I mean, the LP conversion stuff is kind of complicated. I think it's not as easy for people who are never done it before. It's not really good. I don't even know if there's a tutorial on how to convert your LP. To be honest with you,
dude, that should be a part of.
I finally did it a few times. Well, actually, no. I still haven't actually made money because I've been giving away ships on my streams mostly.
I don't ever make money. I usually lose it and get it blown up in some way, shape, or form.
No, I do not make money in Eve. I make kills in Eve.
There you go.
That's what I do.
That's one way to do it. I have I don't have they just announced they were going to be big changes on some other stream to faction warfare, but not exactly what any of those were. And I heard someone say they might come like ESS sites, or I don't know. I haven't heard anything. Have you guys heard anything?
The only thing that I have heard is that we reached out. CCP was like, and I've done an interview with CCP Swift before. I felt like the relationship with CCP is kind of easy to get somebody to come on to your podcast and talk about stuff. And so I reached out. I was like, hey, come on. And they were like, at first they were super excited. Yeah. Like, yeah, we'll do this. We're going to get don't worry about it. Not a problem. We'll get somebody to. The email felt like it had enthusiasm. It was excited. It's not going to be a problem. We'll hit you back up. And then they hit me back up and they were like, just wait. Just wait.
Just wait.
You know, they didn't go into any details.
Very ominous, yeah.
Like, if you see anything that, you know, would make you really, you know, want to talk to us again, I'm sure that you'll be hitting us back up. And I was like, really? Like, you're not even gonna talk to me? Like, because I'm a faction warfare podcast, you've decided No.
So I guess they might. You were expecting something at FanFest to get announced. Then is that what we're kind of?
That's what I've been hearing.
That's
is that
the
there's
thought.
a big
Yeah.
announcement at FanFest that
that's
we're
my
going to
thought.
hear more than. That's the rumors that I've heard circulating based upon stuff that I haven't actually seen yet, which is basically there is some stuff. There was somebody that did tell me, and I did talk about it on the podcast here, that there was another podcast that they were on, and they kind of talked about it. And so I wonder,
okay.
but they talked about it in the sense of like we can't say anything, but check out FanFest,
Okay. Well, hopefully something. I mean, like, it'd be interesting to see. I always worry when CCP starts changing things. You know what I mean? That's just, you're like, it could be good, but it could be also another Dust 514. Not we're talking about that or anything, But
so
it's just like, there's like, when CCP changes something, even with with the patch for when they did the hunt patch, they broke contracts. The contracts were broken for the entire day. We couldn't put up contracts properly. We were having all sorts of problems. It was ridiculous.
That is any patch though.
Yeah,
it's gonna have weird bugs that you just don't expect. But they should have been play tested out. It's unbelievable that they got through, play testing. It sounds like that was something that probably was. I mean, I guess maybe people don't play test contracts very often.
I don't know, but it's always like, and like the most recent big patch was the mining bonuses. There's tons of people who still hate or love that mining bonus thing now, and how the orcas work and how, and just how that whole thing goes.
So I think the nerfing. So one of the things that mechanically, there's been some things that have been really interesting with updates that they have done. That are not like massive nerfs to stuff. So like for example, like upwell structures. Now there are problems with them, but that was a huge update that really brought this whole idea of like build a space station for yourself and like fuck passes. And really fuck passes. I dealt with I hated passes. Setting up one was a nightmare. It was nothing like I wanted it to be. Now I feel like they need to let us customize these things a little bit more. I like stations. I think it's really cool that you can fly them and stuff like that. That it becomes such a interesting thing. It's pretty cheap. But if you put them up, there's consequences. You get war deck.
Buck snuff.
Buck snuff. Exactly.
You'll get snuffed, and there are consequences for putting them up, and it's not 100% that they're going to survive anything. But it's just cool, like put up your house anywhere that you want in EVE Online, which was kind of cool.
R.I.P. Crack House.
But there are some updates that they have done that have been really interesting. I think some of the boosts that they gave to faction warfare in the beginning, from going from almost nothing to just here you're war decked with each other, go shoot, to like they built something on this. The thing that I am concerned about is that there seems to be a problem in not understanding what the market is, how market reactions are going to be, and how the market actually works in EVE, and our supply of money is really weird. Is a weird formula that goes into like there's a bunch of different items that we can buy based with our LP and stuff like that. So if they completely wipe the system, my concern is that they're going to replace it with something that is going to be worth a lot less, to the point that nobody wants to be involved in it anymore. But then put cool mechanics in. That there will be this, but it won't be the thing.
Merlin.
But there is some interesting things with that. But maybe the market forces are not really good for faction warfare, and it should just be all about shooting each other in the face and the ability to kind of pay for up to cruisers. Because right now, technically, you can, if you're doing stuff like just for money, you can probably fund Titans, like the way that it's just an insane amount of ISK that can be generated in faction warfare right now. But the thing I like is that a newbie can come in, and this is probably one of the best places for like a day one newbie to jump in and just start making ISK really easy. He's gonna die a few times, but he's gonna have a bunch of ability to just go and do some level 1 novice frigate sites. and it'll be intense to fight that one fucking rat for him.
Oh,
you know?
yeah.
Like-
Yeah, I believe that. And I was actually thinking about that. And I've been listening to, I catch up on your podcast when I can, but it was like, it'd be really cool if you pick the combat tutorial, it almost ended in faction warfare, and then you ended up like, instead of like being in the NPC corp for that long, you finish the combat tutorial and you end up in faction warfare and you could fight for these guys. Or even if they had like a pirate type system somewhere in the other low sec spaces,
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think that's something that I mentioned a while ago in one of our previous episodes, where I was like, if they're gonna have a mining introduction, they need a faction warfare introduction, but they should also have a pirate introduction. Not to go too far with it, but maybe it introduces you to.
Well, I think there should be like a whole D-scan thing. I think that there should be
Yeah, D-scan is probably one of the, like, that's one of the things that I think it was this morning I killed that poor Myrmidon in a he was doing a one of those sites, and I brought a caracal in and I murdered him with a caracal.
Oof.
And he texted he messaged me, called me a dick, and said he was blocking me. And I told him, dude, you got to check your D scan, man. Like, and you're in low sec. If this is gonna happen, like, and granted, it was just a caracal, but like, I've killed so many battle cruisers with that caracal because they don't leave. They're like, they just go and they're like, it's fine. It's just a caracal or whatever, and come in. Nope, you're pointed now, and you can't hit me because all your guns are close range.
I mean, and the Merm, and I don't mean to tangent completely off of faction warfare topic, but Merm is nowhere near the beast it used to be either.
Okay.
What I mean?
Snake was pretty good, but also he was a noob. But yeah, I didn't know. Yeah, you don't see too many Merms. That's one thing that I can say is you don't see too many of them. But when I do see them, I always think in my head it's going to have a massive tank on it, and I'm not going to be able to take it out. But I was like, you know what, I'm gonna try anyway. And it took like twice as long as normally, and I almost burnt out all of my modules. But he called me a dickhead after I killed him, so I was happy.
It's a strange rating of whether you're. I would have been like, here's a better fit. Come and fly with us.
Well, I tried. Well, no. So here's the thing. I tried. I said, you got to look at your D scan. You got to watch your D scan. You are in low security space. Of course, after a couple of cheeky messages like a heart, and a salute. But he just called me a dickhead and said he was blocking me. So there wasn't any, like, there are people that will like if he'd messaged me and said, how did you kill me? And I would be like this. See, this is what I use. This is my fit. This is how I do the thing. If you're interested, we could teach you more. Or if you join us, I won't shoot you anymore. So, like, there's.
It's another thing about the tutorials. There needs to be it's like, it's okay to lose a ship. That's the other thing. Like, that guy clearly wasn't okay with losing a ship.
That is the biggest thing, honestly, that I teach as an I guess I'm technically a veteran now. That feels weird. And as an FC, I like to tell new bros, especially because there's still some people that aren't new bros that still have a problem with losing a ship. If you want to be good at PvP, you have to know how to lose a ship. I know when you start, they tell you in the tutorials, don't fly what you can't afford to replace. That's not it. It isn't. It totally isn't it, because I lost shit that I could totally have replaced and got pissed off and rage quit like 2 or 3 times. But now I got to the point where I'm beyond that. And it's just, you have to understand, you have to learn how to lose a ship. Like, if you can die quietly,
gracefully.
If you could die gracefully, that's like the biggest key to PvP. You will get so much more kills. You'll be so much more happier with PvP if you know how to die. Because I mean, I have so many kills under my belt. I haven't lost that many ships, but I have lost, like 300 something ships. That's still a lot. But like, it doesn't hurt as much until it does.
Yeah, it's that time where you're like flying your bling curse or something like that, and then you make a bad turn. You're like, I didn't want to approach this guy. Why am I approaching this guy? And the next thing you know, you're upset and
or
mad
not
about
to
it.
go on a tangent, as both of everybody has said at this point, but it happens sometimes. I recently stopped hanging out with my Tama group because one of them murdered my Serb, and I refused to shoot back, and I just was, and it wouldn't have helped anyways because he was in a fucking vagabond. What the fuck am I gonna do? I'm in a long range Cerberus and he's on top of me. I can't do shit now. I'm just gonna die. Why even shoot him? And then but like that hurt a little bit, like, because that Serb did have like 12 kill marks on it. That's not a lot, but it's like it was less that, and it was more that this person, I mean, it wasn't like we were blue to each other, but we were in a chat in Tama. I don't know. It's like I was just but I think honestly,
I thought you were a bro. Guess what?
I thought you were a bro, but you're not.
Or a frenemy or something. Yeah, I got you. I can understand that.
Those guys. Frenemies is great because, like, if you go in an NPSI fleet, we're gonna shoot at you. It's fine. Everybody knows, as long as everybody knows the rules.
Yeah, we're frenemies with like a group like dock workers. We fight them pretty regularly.
Oh, honestly. Yeah, they're awesome. I like dock workers.
But when we can't find something to do, we have some friends in there. We're like, hey, Trix or Colonel Kassad, we're bored. What do you want to do? And he's like, well, you want to do a battleship brawl? Yeah, let's do a battleship. And the next thing I know, I'm like, what did you guys do? And I'm looking at the kill board because I'm not there or something. But it's a good time. So I mean, we, especially Infinite Pew. I mean, like we're the name is Infinite Pew. We're in this for the content, man. So if someone is like, we'll give you some content, let's do it. We're gonna do it. So
yeah,
that's where we're at.
And if someone hands me a battleship and says, let's go fuck shit up, I'll be like, sure.
Yeah, exactly.
I'll even pay for the battleship after it blows up.
Yep.
Just let's go have fun.
That's a very good way to operate. It's very much how we operate around here sometimes. It's, here's a ship, if it dies, then pay me. If it doesn't,
and that's probably something, I don't know currently, but within our alliance, we often will just give ships out every Wednesday. We give ships out
to viewers, to players,
to viewers, yes, to the opposing faction, but they won it fair and square. It was legitimate, raffle, but no, like if we go out on a gate camp and you don't have a gate camping ship, we'll hand you a Gnosis and I'll just let you keep it. I don't care. Like
that's your Gnosis. Get it blown up.
Get it blown up. Yeah, I think one time I gave a guy a Gnosis that probably had like 18 kill marks on it by accident. It somehow
I honestly
survived.
don't know if I've ever had a ship with more than 13,
the night,
so.
And he gave it back, and it had 22 kill marks on it. So I was happy about that.
Very good.
Gate camping.
No,
that's how
that's
how you get lots of kill marks.
No, yeah, it's very true. I think the most kill marks I've had on a ship was a Gnosis, and it was like 30 something. But that's the highest.
I should fly more Gnosises.
They are ridiculous.
Well, yeah,
sensor
they
boosters and they're really fast 3, and it's like you can catch.
Yeah, and then if you have remote sensor boosters, you have like 1700 plus scan res, and it has a 4-second align time by default. It's a battle cruiser with a 4-second align time.
Yeah, I do like those though because they don't have any real requirements, and that's kind of like the ship. Yeah, you know what I mean? Like for a new player, for a new player who doesn't know what they're doing and they all of a sudden have to get out quick, they have that opportunity in that ship because it will get the heck out of there. So
I do want to point out that Insidious Matt said hello, Neon.
Hi, Insidious.
Yeah, thank you so much for the follow, Insidious. That's awesome.
Sid is a good bro of mine. He's a cool dude. So
sweet.
But yeah, that's I think that's one of the really big things I like about the Gnosis. I built one that had like guns for everything, and then I have like spares of T1 for everything. That if a newbie comes on and is like, hey, I want to come gate camp, and it's like, well, I can't fly anything. Oh yeah, you can. You can probably get medium guns pretty quickly if you don't already have medium guns, and fuck it, we'll just We'll just put small guns on it.
Yeah, put a small gun.
You'll be fine.
Yeah,
go shoot all the frigs.
We just need you to survive gate guns, and we'll do the rest.
I also think the Praxis is a really decent battleship for. I mean,
it is
until they did the buff thing. Because I guess now, the Praxis didn't get that buff. All the other battleships did, except for the Praxis.
Oh, wow.
That's
everything
bullshit.
but the Praxis got that buff.
That's why I don't
double
see
check real quick
anymore.
But but it's
Praxises?
I was gonna say it's such a Praxi. I was gonna say for a new player who's not really seen a lot of the really large ships in Eve, like because Eve has a huge scale when you're in a frigate right next to a Titan. It's definitely looks huge, but it's so weird when you're in you can barely see a frigate when you're in a Titan or any kind of capital. But the Praxis is a huge battleship. Even next to other battleships, the Praxis is massive, and you only need Spaceship Command 1 to get in it. So people, as much as some people don't even bother to look at the game when they're playing and just see the overview, it's a really cool visual effect for a new player to have that thing. So.
It's a beautiful ship too, and the Gnosis is beautiful.
They're really well designed.
Skins, like there's a skin for everybody. I feel like, and it's a well designed ship.
I think that's also it's interesting. Oh, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say the only thing I feel that's like sexier than like the Gnosis with the Zakura Shimu skin is a Kiki with a Kybernaut clade.
Oh yeah, that is a really beautiful.
The Kiki's it's like a vampire flying around in space.
The trig ships really got some damn good skins. That's for sure.
And then the Vedmak is nice too. I mean, not only is it actually a Void Ray, but it looks like a Void Ray, because of that one, the way it's shaped. But the trig ships are fun, and I love Kiki's, and I'm still learning the Vedmak. I haven't gotten too many kills with the Vedmak yet.
Oh, that is a pretty skin. I actually had no idea what that skin looked like.
Oh, the Zakura is the
Zakura
blue,
I'm like, yeah,
pink.
They also get tons of skins. Like I know a lot of the ships gets tons of skins, but the special edition ships, I mean, these guys get just tons and tons and tons of them. It's because I guess they just, because everyone flies them, they hands them out, so they want to be able to make them available.
And it's one of the top ships in the game, I think, because of that, and probably because of gate camping.
CCP skins on Astra Hosses and Citadels.
Yeah,
there you go. That would make a lot of money.
We've been talking about this forever, man. I've read it every time that they're like, how do you expect them to make money? Or anybody says anything about like, why are they doing this thing to make money when they could be selling us skins and fucking crazy shit for our Citadels, like, and make them destructible. One-time use. Bring back those one-time use. You apply it to the ship or to the thing, and that's
if it gets blown up,
especially with Citadels, because the Citadel is nothing. I mean, it has 3 timers. You got to kill it. Blah blah blah. If it put a skin on that thing, and it's permanent. It's not like you should build it with that skin almost, and then it's stuck that way. And you know what I mean?
Right? Yeah. I mean, that would be another thing too. It's like if you want to like encourage people to have to build a whole bunch of more fucking Citadels and tear down their old ones and like cause chaos like that, well, go ahead and just put it. You can only do it on new ones that are coming out. It's built into the
anchor
process.
a new one. You anchor a new one. You could pick a skin. If you unanchor it, you can get the skin back, or it's just going to die with it. And that's that. So, but definitely would sell some money.
But yeah, there's I don't know. There's a lot of good ways of making ISK off of cosmetic stuff in Eve. I think that there should be like.
I love cosmetics.
There needs to be more advertising. I'm surprised that they haven't done something with the whole like. They had it before. You could have a bunch of commercials that they had in the stations that you could watch on the TVs, the big screens.
I love those things. Some of them, the newer ones I've seen, like really, really amazing, like retro artwork and stuff in them lately, in like the commercials and things.
But yeah,
Oh, sorry. I haven't seen. I feel like the thing that I always end up seeing when I'm sitting in Jitta is the Divinity Social thing over and over again. I haven't really seen much else.
Yeah,
but that's it.
But yeah, way back in the day, though, they had it where it was player submissions. You know, like it was you would have your corporation add your official video for your corp, and it could be on.
I think your cat wants attention.
Hi, kitty.
Yes! This is Janeway.
Oh, hi, Janeway.
But yeah, there's I don't know. There's a lot of interesting things that they can do. But kind of pulling it all the way back, there is a possibility that CCP is going to fuck up faction warfare by changing it.
Yes.
But as long
what would we do then, Frozen? Would our podcast no longer be faction warfare, or would it be fuck faction warfare instead of fuck snuff? What would happen?
Well, it all depends on how badly they fuck up. If it doesn't become, if it's more about cool things kind of happening in EVE and events and stuff like that, and less about money, I think I would be perfectly fine with that.
Yeah.
It would suck to not be able to make money off of faction warfare, but at this point, I don't think our corporation has made much money off of faction warfare comparatively to what
I don't think
crazily done at this point.
I think it's just you and me pumping money into our corp so we can all get kills. I think that's what's going on there.
Yeah, I just try to think about, like, you know, the money. I mean, like, I don't make my money off of faction warfare. I only use faction warfare for content. I have other ways of making money, and I've always ran level 5. You know, I always run level 5 missions before faction warfare even existed to make, you know, my money, and it's. And I have made money off of faction warfare. If you've bought a HyperNet Stabber Fleet issue, it might have been me, but that's besides, you know. But it's like, it's just never been a primary source of income. You know, I mean, you got to have something else if you really want to be flying bigger stuff anyway. Especially with the way the battleship prices are nowadays and that kind of thing. So
yeah,
But I hope it, like you said, I hope it doesn't get entirely screwed up. I don't know how it will happen. I mean, like, shout out to my bros in Usha Khan. They've been in this for forever. They're never going to leave. I really hope that whatever the change doesn't like affect their culture. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, with that's a big. We have a culture out here with faction warfare. There's a lot of role play that goes with faction warfare, and I'm hoping that CCP will take that into consideration when they change everything. So there was a big article about there was a big. I think it was a Scope article. I don't think it was a fan fiction about freeing of Flosswind when we managed to take it. So it was a big RP article. So
yeah, I think they are watching to a certain degree, and it is kind of scary to see, you know, something that hasn't been touched for a long time and people coming to it with things that have happened with Sav and stuff like that over the years. Truthfully, though, I think that some of that stuff have been improvements. It does take, you know, it's different iterations, and changing things up has different reasons why you hate that new system. There's always going to be, you know, like, I hate the new system no matter what, because it's, you know, it's the old system, you'll say you fucking hated that as well because of this, that, and that. And now the new system's around, of course you're going to say I hate it because of this, that, and that. But, you know, to a certain degree, I really hope for the best that we do get we're gonna see change, and that we're gonna have a lot of people bitching about it no matter what. So I'm really hoping, though, that in the end it is actually good changes, and that there are going to be weird new things that are going to be happening. But it's very possible. One thing I actually hope they don't do is just come in with some very minor changes.
I hope they change it with a live event more than anything.
That would be cool.
They haven't done a live event, really. Was the Sanchi incursion before the Dreads over Floss or something like that? I don't remember the exact timeline, but they haven't done a whole lot of live events recently, that's for sure.
Yeah.
So,
no, that would be really cool. And I guess actually I would take minor changes as well. But I really hope that there is a big overhaul of, like, re-looking at this and integrating it into the new player experience and having it looked at from, like, really being if you want to get into PvP, you're a new player, here you go. Here's stuff for you to go play in.
I agree.
And if it caters to newbies, I'll be much happier than if it caters to the ancient old.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
As
It would be nice to get some fresh blood inside faction warfare.
It's a place to start learning how to PvP. You know, it really is.
It's a good place. Yeah, it's safe is such a bad word for Eve, but it's probably one of the safer ways to learn PvP, I guess, because you can take a T1 frigate and only fight other T1 frigates in faction pirate ship. I mean, let's face it.
I am totally doing sites in a Caldari Navy hook bill right now. I forced 2 sites out of my site already.
I may use a worm because I'm a horrible person.
Aha! I was using a fucking Tristan, but it is a Newt Tristan, so
that's a nasty Tristan. But my favorite ships though is still the Fed Navy Comet. After I bought it, I started buying so many. I bought so many of them, and I got like 80 kills with them, and it's fun. It's a fun ship.
It is a fun ship. We keep them up on contract. People love those things. I've never gotten a kill in one. I don't know why. I have to be different, I guess. I keep trying to fly a polarized one around.
Oh yeah, no, that doesn't work so well.
So
what I fly is a hull tanked one. So yeah. It's bait tanked, and it is also technically armor tank, but it's hull bait tank, and so with rails, it's fun. It's not quite kiting, but it's like anti-kite. It's scram. Okay, it's scram kiting, I guess. Technically,
scram kiting. Yeah. Scram kiting is an art, man. I don't know if I got that down.
It's hard. I don't have it down yet. Just because I have kills doesn't mean I got it down. I just
I got lucky.
I will say this though, if you are interested in learning manual piloting, the Fed Navy Comet is one of the best ships to learn how to manually pilot solo type shit. Because manual piloting is overpowered as fuck. I just
you're not wrong. That's how I learned. When we back in the day of Pod Liberation Authority and all those other things and the big pirate groups, I mean, it was manually flying nano drakes everywhere. You know what I mean? And it was a big deal. And if you didn't know how to manually pilot, you were going to get yourself real screwed real fast too. So that's just not a thing anymore. So
awesome. So before we wrap on up here, we have some news that we want to talk about. There's some things that have happened in EVE just recently and more stuff to be coming as well. But I wanted to make sure that I gave a spot for you if you want to give a shout out to anything, or if you have any projects, any things that you're doing, give a shout out to anybody. A little bit of time for you.
Well, I just want to give a good old shout out to all my bros out there, Space Bros. There's been a lot of fighting with the Amar. We've been hammering away at Asset, their most tight stronghold, really. That's where they live. That's where all their citadels are. We've just been hammering away at Locals Primary, and I just want to we've been doing an awesome job. Yeah, they keep plexing it down to 0. I don't care. Let's go have some fun and keep shooting at them. You know what I mean? It's just all there is to it, and it's all about the content and getting better. Minmatar, especially US guys, we like to chase the squirrels. We're really good at like that small game skirmish stuff. We're trying to get ourselves into the fleet area of this whole thing, and though we're going against a really a massive multi-boxing target, we have come away with some kills. We're changing strategies up. We're having fun. We care the most about our community here at Infinite Pew. We want to make sure, we interview people. There's no real requirement to join Infinite Pew except that we interview you. Just make sure you're cool and you're a good person. You can actually get in Discord, because if you can't get in Discord and chat, it's not really gonna work out really too well. But come on in, come meet the bros, come join the bros, come mingle with the rest of our group, and honestly, come and join us. We can fight these slavers all day long. We just need more bros like you to come and join us and hang out and do it. So, and there's guaranteed PvP every day, every minute, no problem. So it's Infinite Pew for a reason.
We should go out to Minmatar space and shoot some Amar frozen.
Yeah, whenever you want. Aiden came over recently. Aiden Robotics came over and we got like 15, almost 20 of their dudes when we went up against them recently. So
nice.
They come up against. They have a real big bone to pick with Locals Primary, though. But yeah.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for coming on here. If you want to stick around, we can. We're going to talk a little bit about the news, and actually, there is something that I was hoping to get more, maybe some insight that I don't know if you've read the March faction warfare point of view from what was it? Faction warfare status March 2022 Minmatar and Amar. That was posted about 20 days ago. I didn't see it, and I got it pointed out to me. So I was going to have us talk about that a little bit today.
I'm not really sure. Was it the one where it was about the liberation of Floss and they're sending more troops? It was kind of an RP article almost.
No, this was more of like just kind of like a breakdown of where things were during that point in time, and actually like trying to say that that they didn't want to go to tier 4 or tier 5. Here, I'll post the thing in chat here for everybody. I'm gonna take a look.
I'm also streaming the if you want to post that up there.
Frozen. Oh yeah,
I got it up.
And...
Oh yes, this is by this Reddit post by Bear. Yeah, so Bear is one of the new fleet commander that we have now. Really awesome and valuable dude. He's a really nice guy, but he's an old Tri-FC, and then he was, I believe, the alliance head of the Cryptid Wordhole Alliance, and then he just saw all the action we had out here, and he's like, man, I could really get in some nice fleet fights out here. I just got it. And he came out here and joined us and has been really the main fleet commander for the Infinite Pew right now. So there that cares.
Yeah, so in here it says the Minmatar campaign, the current Minmatar campaign of March on Metropolis has get it because it's March. Began a couple weeks ago, and the hard work of Minmatar pilots is causing huge flips in the war zone to bring back some equilibrium. And we have a pre-campaign here, which looks like a lot of them are, and then post or current status. And I think there's actually been much more since then. Like,
a lot changed in 20 days ago, because now we pretty much own all but a couple of these systems. I mean,
it's all brown.
It was amazing. Even when I said, hey, we're doing this big campaign, which is probably, we're going to start doing this campaign, and we're going to eventually go hit the Amar, stronghold system of Asset and Floss, especially Floss is a big RP system. And I was talking about that. Everything changed just from that day. That was like 2 weeks ago, or not even from that. I think we hold, how do I see this? 60. We hold 60 systems now. So
yeah, and your war zone is even smaller than ours. You guys like all together only have like 90 some odd systems. I believe like you don't even have over 100 systems, and we have barely over 100 systems. And yeah, we're at the 53. We're at like halfway mark, and it just. Every day, there's a few systems that are being lost every single day,
Yeah, and they have 11 systems left, and the stable systems are like Asset, Arzad, Sasala. I know Ushrakan and the group really Sasala is like, I think, the longest held faction warfare system since like, I'm not sure. You'd have to ask one of those dudes, because I'm not really sure of the whole thing. But I know that in like 2017, Minmatar had their last total victory. So that might be the last time that system was ours. But I'm not quite. I can't quote me on that one. I'm not exactly sure. But all they got left for the most part are their fortress systems now. So from the 20 days ago, we managed to plex it up. The tier got high, the bots came over, system started falling in droves. It was ridiculous.
Yeah, the bot wave is really insane. It's a crazy thing to see, like when they, and it just, you can definitely feel like the complete changeover of what happens. It's just like your fighting is no longer for naught. It's like, but you do have to ride that wave, because if you don't destroy to take down the systems, they're not going to blow up the high hubs. So you have to organize people to go and blow up the high hubs. But like you said, it's been very little resistance. And I'm really surprised, because that's when you're gonna get a bunch of dumbasses coming together. Like that's when why are you not that you're gonna stop it from happening, but you would get some kills.
And that's where we need that's where we need more dudes, because when the Locals Primary now does throw Locals Primary, everyone, we know that, you guys know that they come mess with you guys all the time and whatnot, but they throw down like they throw down like, I don't know, like 50 Gilas at us, and we're in like a fleet of 20. We had 7 Caracals out there. We went out in rapid like Caracals, and they warped a carrier to the open in asset. I mean, we like content, but that's some bullshit. We still killed some of your ships, even with our garbage, our Caracals. And I mean, like, we kept getting the Caracals blown up and whatnot, but I'm like, I don't know if they find that fun or not. We enjoy content, we have fun.
Cool.
They just bring in these blobs that there's no way sometimes, like, if you're going to drop your 200 EHP Legion fleet, on us every time there's a bash before, we'll just wait for you to go to bed. We're not going to give you that content. We can't fight. We can't fight that right now. We don't want to fight it right now. I'm sure that we could try to muster, like, we had a fleet of like almost 100 people, which I haven't seen.
Oh wow!
Since like the glory days. Yeah, it was a long time ago. Tissue has seen the cool things that have been going on around here and actually joined faction warfare recently, much to the dismay of the Amar. But we had almost a fleet of 100 people, which I haven't seen in a long time. But if we could get that consistent kind of numbers for when they have Legion blobs like that, yeah, we can start smoking Legion blobs, But it's like when it's 20 of our dudes, 20, 30 of our dudes versus like 20, 30 of their multi-boxing Legions. And then they're going to drop a fax to save them if they start dying anyway. What do you want me to do, guys? I'll totally fight you. We'll fight. Don't be stupid. I don't know what to do about it.
Yeah, there is a big, wanting to make sure that you can win in Eve is a big, it is a big part of being in Eve and in low sec. I mean, we deal with that with Snuff all the time,
But I also say
never be able to like muster a force that'll be able to wipe out any drops that they put on us, because it's just one fax and then 15
but it's fun.
If need to be. And
it's fun to make them waste the fuel.
And it's what is your win condition, right? And I was just discussing this. It says nothing. You can drop what you want, whatnot. But if we're gonna go out, you're gonna put on carriers on us with your ONIs and your other shiny ships and throw a weird kitchen sink at us in the open, and we're in 10 rapid heavy Caracals, we're going to pick the 3 shiniest ships we can find and blap them. And then if we all die, we still are as positive and had fun and farm your tiers. And that's all there is to it.
That's the best thing you can possibly try and shoot for, is that, I do like the idea of like just gathering up a bunch of fucking Thrashers and just going and smashing them into, a fleet that's just got 1 or 2, or a bunch of really blingy shit. And as if you can just overcome whatever they have for reps, then you can be able to smash through it and lose your entire fucking fleet. But as long as you kill that one guy, and that's where I take a lot of satisfaction on, like, if we can just get one really good kill off of something, it's it's well worth it. The whole fleet's paid for already,
Right. Yeah, I believe one of the Infinite Pew signature things is our El Cheapo ships. They're literally just T1 fit garbage Thrashers, or I think we had a fleet of 35 Griffins once. That was pretty disgusting. But it's garbage, like they're all really cheap fits. I don't think any of them are over 3 million. But we could still go out there and all those ships, if we could blap 1 ONI, sucks to be you guys, and that's that. So
do you, Sam, do you want to go ahead and continue just a little bit more of what that was? I believe we were at the current wars.
Yeah, currently the war zone is very balanced. Both sides hold 35 systems. Minmatar previously was 14 systems and can maintain T3 rewards. Hopefully this holds T4 and T5 rewards will cause an influx of bots and farmers, which completely ruin the hard work of our faction warfare bros. CCP, please fix this bullshit, punish flipping with delayed rewards. Thanks. What's funny is like that's what bots kind of helped us swing the market, like Frozen says, the marketplace is sort of like is pushing us back to our side, but
there is no real equilibrium that can be maintained just because of the way that bots do their thing.
And I know that it was definitely talked about in one of your podcasts, I don't know, about how, it'd be cool if like maybe the rats plex them down, like so it doesn't just, if no player intervention ever happens, it just doesn't sit at a percentage or something like that. I think that was discussed once in your podcast.
Yeah.
There's been a lot of great ideas in your podcast, guys.
Well, thank you.
So
DCP, come on.
DCP.
Come on. So
come on the show. But yeah, the rest of it's just right here's the line at Ardar. This is a line being drawn on Ardar, which is where the Amar pilots like Rito and Olivia Makinen have been putting some serious efforts duplexing in USTZ. Are these like your Diana Kims?
I don't know who that is, so I'm going to go with yes. No.
Yeah, it sounds
But
like
yeah,
it.
well, Olivia is actually a really. I'm going to say it, but I know it's weird, but she might be one of the decent Amar. She doesn't.
No, definitely not.
I don't have her blocked. I don't have her blocked. She's one of the few people, Amar, I don't have
Most
blocked.
people that I know have Diana Kim and her alts blocked. I do not, because I like to fuck with her.
That's fair.
I like to
fair.
mock her in local.
But
yeah.
But Rito is I don't know. He's like some kind of leader in locals primer, or dirt and glitter, or whatever it is. But he's also very loud in local. And usually, if you're very loud in local, I mean, their name is local as primary, but they're not very good about primary. Like, I understand what they're trying to go for, but guys, shut up. But it's I think that I would say that the majority of the Minmatar militia have the absolute majority of locals primary blocked in local. So I mean, like, I don't know what you're primarying anymore, but yeah, Rito was one of their leaders, or just one of their higher up PvPers, I guess, in there. And back then we were pushing Ardar. Then we staged in Ardar after we got it. Then we were pushing Floss, which we thought we had a huge slugfest for Floss. It was a pretty big grind. And then we tried to move on to Asset, because we're like, oh, we're on a roll, let's go. And we've been hammering away at Asset. And honestly, I still think a big reason why it's been kind of tough to take Asset is we're missing a huge chunk of one of our alliances because of the conflict going on overseas. So Smile and Wave is a huge contribution to the Minmatar militia, and they're around, but just not in the force they were before. So, but we'll keep hammering away at Asset. We don't care. We're having fun.
Yeah, so it doesn't seem like it was able to maintain that equilibrium, but that's just kind of the way that this war is, and then it'll swing all the way back again. Eventually there's no way to stop it. And I remember talking about this multiple times with people that were new to Galente faction warfare, and they're just like, why are we losing? Like, what's going on? Like, this doesn't make any sense to me. And it's like, there's always a swing back and forth. Now, it may take months. It's not like next month it'll be this way, and the next, sometimes it'll take months, like many months, sometimes like a year. You might be underneath the occupation of the Keldari or the Amar, but eventually the pendulum will swing back over, and it has everything to do with market forces, and they're the ones that are going to be taking advantage of all of the shit that's going on, and they'll, you're just at the beck and call of whatever the hell is going on with that stuff, on whether we're winning or losing the war zone. But there is like keeping key systems and stuff like that, keeping headquarters and the ability to fight back, and not have all of the war zone be wiped. And even if all of the war zone gets wiped, usually it's only for like a day or so. That's the one that, like, normally there's never like a 100% of the war zone is owned by one side, because as soon as that happens, that's when the bots especially want to go over, because if both sides, if the Galente and Minmatar both were at 100%, every single system was ours, then where are you gonna be flexing anymore? And that's where the bots are really good at. You can do mission running botting, which is a scary thing, but eventually then the prices will be there's so much LP and so much items that we normally create that'll just glutton the system, and then they'll be like, well, we can do that for the other side now, and then we can flex too. We can have the dumb bots going out doing stuff again.
Right. And I actually think that's kind of interesting now that you mentioned that, because now the flip is in our favor, right? But if this, we might hold this for possibly a month, and when this change comes, how is that going to be affected? If the change comes and they don't change any occupancy, and this could have major changes to how occupancy is changed, what are they going to do? Are they just going to hit the reset button all of a sudden? Are they going to let it ride? That's very interesting, because it just passed my mind. And also, what I think is interesting is the Mar, on our side at least. I don't know how the Caldari are doing for you guys, but the Mar have not shown any interest in recapturing any systems. Zero.
Oh yeah,
no, just Nissawa
holding.
So
not recapturing, but they're holding it. Yeah, like it's like a what do you call it?
Well, the thing is, I don't know any like super stronghold of the Caldari. That's the thing, is that there's.
Well, but Nissawa seems to be Diana's stronghold, I guess is what I'm saying.
And she's on after downtime.
Yeah.
So that's my only 2 cents on that. I was like, that'd be very interesting to see how CCP rides that out. So
awesome, yeah. And so the other thing that we do have is a dev blog that came out, The Road to FanFest Even Closer. Just this, we can kind of go over this real quick, I think, instead of verbatim, but looks like there's this whole new event that's going to be that is taking place right now. So that's the Guardians Gala, I believe, is what we're in right now. Is that one?
No, we're in the hunt now. The Easter egg thing.
Yeah, the Easter egg. Yeah,
Garista's Hunt, right?
Garista's Hunt.
Yeah.
That's old. That one happened last year too.
It did happen last year.
Yeah, and so I believe that's kind of their lead up into, because this came out on the 22nd. So the event is happening right now. There's a bunch of pods in outer space. You got to go find them, blow them up, get keys, do PvE sites, and use the key to unlock the door or the gate in order to get the big stuff on the other side. We had a paladin that we were trying to fucking capture.
Right at
Kronos, yeah. Just before we got on here.
I was very tempted to run over there, yeah.
But we didn't have keys.
We didn't have keys. That was our fault.
I think the big thing too is that Local's Primary is almost find the art of smart bombing you on stations and in gates and everything like that. Too, your personal pod, when you warp to your gate, they have Proteuses or Stratioses that smart bomb your pod, and right now during the hunt, you drop your implants when you die. You have a percentage chance to drop your implants. So if you're I lost a shiny pod just recently because I was like, I don't want to switch, I don't want to deal with it, and then he got the damn Proteus got me. I'm like, oh no. And then and now I've just been flying an empty pod anyway.
Yeah,
but
I normally
definitely going on
empty,
now.
But we'll have to remember that on Wednesday night, especially if we get any pod kills. Because sometimes we get a couple billion-isk pod kills.
We've gotten blingy pods in the past.
Oh, there's a lot of Mar dudes out here to fly high-grade snakes all the time. We would really like to see those pods. So
let's get some smart bomb and Proteuses out there.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, this is a pretty good event. I believe that you can. It's not super hard to do. So you can use like a battle cruiser in order to accomplish most of the sites, I think. I haven't gone out and done it this year, but I did do it last year, I believe.
The winter event is a little bit more, I don't know what the right word is for it, more active for us. Our guys really like the winter event a bit more.
The winter is super fucking cool. I like the winter event.
So far I've listened to a couple guys try to chase around pods. Super high, because that's how we roll, but super high in the channel, and they're just like, I can't understand these green pods and stuff like that, and they're chasing around. They really hate but
what is this pod? Why is there a pod?
Yeah, why is there? What is going on here? Mysterious green. Yeah, so but it seems like an interesting little Easter egg hunt type deal. I think CCP got what they were going for. So.
And they did a change to the Proteus. They made it they gave Proteus a little bit of a bump. They also are going to be changing Poco's, I guess, a little bit.
I think that came through.
Yeah, that's already come through.
These have come through. The I know about the Rorqual. The Rorqual can now do like the jump. Oh man, I can't remember what it's called. It's when you bring all the ships with you. You just jump and you just drag them all with you. It can do that now. The Orca, I think, can compress now. Finally, I think it's set up to do that now. I don't know about the Proteus bust. Oh, there's that.
It's right here, I think.
I really wish it definitely needed it. It was probably the least used one.
Yeah, the Proteus got a more for it to be able to use more energy, more power grid, more better stuff for some of the subsystems. Like some of the subsystems they gave like a really big boost to, basically. That's like the drone. Oh, they can have 5 heavies now.
Oh, that would be a decent boost.
Yeah, so
adding that extra one on there.
That's pretty huge. So there's some nice things inside of there, and I'm hoping to see more as we get closer to FanFest. But I'm really looking forward to FanFest, and I really wish that they would just give us a little hint, like just something. But it sounds like my guess is if they're gonna announce at FanFest, we're not gonna see it until next year. Like, we're not going to see the change. They're going to talk about it, and it's going to be a lot of talky, which is fine, because I think that's what I highly doubt that they're going to be like, boom, we're doing the change next summer, or this summer, you're going to have a massive change to faction warfare.
They've been... Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt, but the way they've been talking about FanFest makes like they sound like they're going to release these things at FanFest, almost. It's weird. I know that's not what they do, but it just sounds that way from all their... FanFest, you know what I mean? And I'm like, okay, so when does this happen? But, they're just talking about it.
It's going to be a lot of round table stuff, I'm guessing. Like, there is going to be stuff they are going to release, but it's just going to be stuff that we already know about. Like, it just is going to be updates to and changes to like stuff that's already in the works that we've already seen to a certain degree. I don't foresee any, and maybe there are a few. I could be wrong. We'll see. We'll see. I'm trying to remember back to other FanFests. And a lot of FanFests, if I remember correctly, were a lot of just saying what's going to be happening, doing round tables about all the new stuff that they wanted to do for the year, and then, that stuff starts slowly coming out for the rest of the year. So,
are you going to FanFest this year, Frozen?
I wish. That would be really high on my list of things. But I didn't get any. I didn't do the process, so I'm.
Okay.
So I could actually afford it now, and I could actually do it now, and I plan on going next year for sure. I especially want to go to Vegas as well, but I definitely want to go to. I want to go to Iceland. So my plan is to be there next year. Are you going to be able to go, or?
I tried to say, hey, to my girl, I'm like, hey, do you want to go on a trip to Iceland and see the volcano and cook bread in a hole or something like that, and then go to this total nerd convention over here about space? Did not work. She might have went. She might have went, and I'm sure she's watching. Hi, babe. But it's she's not out of work yet. She's a teacher, so I'm like, you've been playing the game longer than I have. It seems like that's like the ultimate. FanFest is kind of like the ultimate win for an EVE player, to actually go to Iceland and check it out, and see what the whole hoopla is about. I've been playing 14 years. I've never been to even Vegas before,
my character is on that big thing of all the subscribers that were when they took like a thing of every character that's in the game and put them
mine too. Yeah, that'd be really cool to see. I want to
go see that out. Yeah, so I'm interested.
When was that done? I don't remember.
2012, I want to say. I don't know. I'm just throwing out a number.
Sounds about right. I wanted to say it was around summer. It was something after September 11th, kind of thing. You know what I mean? And I couldn't remember if that was what it was for exactly, the monument. But I remember there was a lot of monuments going up then, and I think it was right after that, like 2012. Yeah, I can look it up.
We could easily look this stuff up. But yeah, I think we're gonna go ahead and wrap things on up here, and we do have Wednesday night. We had some cool stuff that happened on Wednesday night. You have the kill board up for that.
We did have
we did have that fun fight. That's
this one fight here, where a Mauler, I believe a Mauler came through.
The first one is the Mauler at the bottom there. The
the Mauler here, and a Jag, and then all of these guys, 3 Caracals and a Omen came through, and I didn't prep it, but I can tell you I can find it really quick because the clip is really great, particularly because
2014.
Oh, not clips, sorry, highlights. What? Oh, sort by. What the heck is going on here? I'm sorry,
Samson. I gotta follow your page.
Yeah, go ahead. Strengthen Samson.
No kittens.
No kittens. No kittens.
Oh man!
Don't press the keyboard.
Why is this not showing any highlights right now? Past broadcasts. Featured clips, moments, all videos. Let's just go to all videos. Here we go. Yeah, all videos. It's a highlight. Why did it only show there? But anyways.
Magic.
Oh wait, no, this is. Okay, so let me just turn this up and everybody can see this and hear it.
Oh, there's the Mauler.
Yep.
Caught it.
There's the Mauler.
Got him.
Ooh. There's a Jag.
Don't worry about those. They're too far off. Just kill the Mauler.
Yeah, the Jag totally YOLO'd into us.
Jumped out.
Yeah, kill the Mauler.
So I think the objective was to kill our.
Mauler is going down.
We have a Loki, right? Yeah, we had a Loki that's super tanked, and they were like, "We're gonna kill this fucking Loki."
Pod pointed.
They did not kill the Loki.
Cinnabon is back. Oh, Simon Palmer's off.
Take out the pod. Cinnabon is at. Nice. No, it's gone. Okay.
Cinnabon was way too
Cinnabon
far
was just like teasing us.
He was like,
pull drones, pull drones. Who's taking gate guns?
Frozen is, so I'm pulling off now.
Oh, I seem to be.
I always find it interesting people's different layouts of the game.
Jaguar's back.
I've played so long with the HUD at the top.
Jaguar's got me locked in.
Yeah, I always find the HUD at the top very odd.
I got him webbed and locked too. And I'm gonna kill him too.
Kill it, Jag.
Yeah, it's always been there, so I haven't moved it. I feel like
that was your mistake.
He's running out of shields right now.
Yeah.
Cinnabon's back.
No.
Cinnabon's. Or no, Caracal's next.
I thought it was a Cinnabon.
Started with back.
Nope. That Caracal.
Caracal.
And now it's all the Caracals. There they are. He's burning right at us. Look at that.
2 Caracals.
Dude, man, they were.
We got a fleet coming in. Puppeteer Nessus is primary. Puppeteer Nessus is primary.
Right?
Yep. Pulse.
Yeah, laser gnosis pulse.
I'll try to broadcast target right
or
now.
Or Caracals.
I'm on my way back.
Yeah, they're gonna go down.
Oh, I just saw you use the radial dial. I always forget that exists sometimes.
Secondary.
Oh yeah,
secondary.
That a lot.
But I use radial. I use the right click. I use the F keys, and I use manual piloting too.
Target.
I try to use everything because I don't know.
And Omen on deck. He's yellow boxing me.
Whatever gets you to do whatever you're trying to do faster. I think I've used it. I've used it a couple times, but not like.
Roft is next.
I don't know. I don't use it regularly. That's for sure.
I use the radio a lot because I think a couple of things.
Broadcast target.
Well,
Omen's next. Omen's secondary. Omen's secondary.
For travel, for
sure. Kill the Omen. Kill the Omen.
Solo. Obviously not for fleet travel.
Take that. Take him out.
Level on those dudes.
Yeah, they're gone.
they just got
no Logi.
Thank you, Logi.
What? We still have Logi? I thought Logi left.
Jan said his wife said thank you, Logi.
We not?
No, we do not have Logi. Kill those fucking pods. Good fight. Good fight.
Still alive.
Pods.
Yeah, well, she was in my fleet, still alive.
All right, warp off if you got gate guns. Warp off if you got gate guns.
But what was funny?
I'm leaving my drone, so don't leave.
Yeah, no, we'll come back. Oh damn, we wrecked that fleet.
Yeah, we did.
Everybody got fucking wrecked. It was like 3 caracals and an omen.
Listen, they're all targeting. They're all targeting me.
What were you in? What were you flying?
Loki.
Oh yes, yes, Al for the fucking win. The Loki boats. They did not get it.
So it was just like that Loki has some stupid like 1K passive tank on it or something. So, and they were just shooting it like, no, bruh, nothing's what's gonna happen? Nope, nothing. It's hilarious to have that with a bunch of Gnostises because people are like, ooh, let's kill the Loki. No, you're not. You're not gonna kill the Loki.
That would have been a great kill for him if they would have got it though.
Yeah, it would have been.
Needed more caracals though. More caracals.
Yeah,
not
yeah,
many more actually.
Yeah, probably
If
like
they would have
6
all
or 7,
actually been
8.
in at the very beginning, it was the Mauler plus that.
I don't think the Mauler was with them. Look,
it's possible.
The Mauler. Where's my fucking mouse cursor? Look,
it is different.
Mauler is
right?
a different corp, whereas the Jag and everybody else was the same corp.
That is true.
But but the Mauler could have still been bait for that fleet, but they kind of fucked that up. If that was bait,
that was really,
they should have all just came in while we were shooting the Mauler,
or known that that's a lot of DPS that they just
let's not.
With. That was supposed to last for a few minutes, and no.
Yeah, but it was fun. It was a fun time.
Yeah, that was a really good night.
And Neon, if you're ever interested, Wednesday nights we go out and we'll give you a caracal to lose, or a Gnosis, and we'll just just kill stuff. It's fun.
Murder.
I'm down. If I'm ever around on a Wednesday night, I'll be down. What time does your stream go up Wednesday nights?
It's 0100 Eve time, so that's 6
p.m.
PST and 8 Central.
Yep,
8 Central.
Yep,
Gotcha.
8 p.m. to midnight. And then we just fuck around, blow up shit. It's a lot of fun. We've had
and
multiple
get dropped
people.
on by Snuff and Shadow Cartel and Test.
Oh yeah, and we stream it, so we're
Bomber's Bar. We've been dropped by like every blops in the area.
That's fair. That's fair.
It's fun. It's fun. It's a good time.
We just get dropped by Locals Primary. That's it. That's it.
I wish that the
dropped.
Caldari would actually fuck with us more. It's
Yeah,
really
the Caldari
sad.
don't. We haven't really been dropped by the Caldari. It's
We've
mostly
had
been
one
Snuff
or two good fights in like a year.
with the Caldari. Yeah, true.
How organized are the Caldari, really? Like compared to?
I mean, it depends on what's going on. If you try and take on their structures, they can come out with like hundreds of people.
The Legion fleet that you said earlier, they come with the fucking Legion fleet.
Yeah. So, but if you're
or
just
Serb, no, they came with a Serb fleet first, I think.
In general, normally they're a pretty small group of people.
Yeah.
We don't see anything usually above 10-man fleets that I've seen. But then again, I don't fly a lot outside of the stuff that we do. I haven't been deeply involved in the plexing fleets, but the ones that we were part of in the beginning, like maybe the Caldari might be able to muster like 20 people, but
Well, we're always down for some pew. I mean, like if you have some content or something's going on, you want to augment your fleets with us, send me a ping. You guys can join my Discord for Infinite Pew, and I'll even give you ping rights in there. You guys just ping us, and my guys will be like, "There's things to shoot. Let's go." That's it. That's pretty how that.
A little further away, probably, but yeah, there's definitely things to shoot.
We're pretty. We can go out through Eglahende now and get to Old Man Star pretty quick these days.
Okay,
so
there you go.
Ooh,
so it's only about like. I'm not there. Oh, I'm on here on Redstone. Let me just. So like, where are you guys basing now?
Yvanger,
which is just outside of Old Man Star, basically, like 3 jumps.
Yeah, it's like 2 jumps from Old Man Star.
How do you spell said
YVAN
Okay,
GIER, I think. Yvanger.
So from our home base of Dal, and the shortest route, you're 12 jumps away. But I mean, like Valor. Yeah, Valor is the 9th jump, and then Old Man, Haley's and Yvangler. Yeah, Vanguard.
Vegas.
Yeah, so that's not really not that bad.
Or-
We could always make a run. You guys are always milking the run over to us. I mean, at any
Oh,
time.
yeah.
Well, the Y might be silent. Isn't that a possibility?
Just Van Gear, maybe.
No
I
idea.
don't know. Ask CCP.
Ask CCP.
When they come on with our show eventually, when
There you go.
they have
Right.
something to talk about, apparently.
Write that down. Question: why did you name things like this? There you go. Perfect.
All right, awesome. Well, thank you all so much for watching. Thanks for coming on to the show, Neon, and it's
problem.
been a
Yeah,
blast.
dude, it's been fun.
And hopefully we can go out and kick some more ass. And yeah, we're in an upswing, man. It's great. It's tier 4, tier 5. We're on our way to tier 4. I know it. And tier 5. It's make some money time. Go blow some people up.
Come check out Faction Warfare. Come check out Frozen's group. What's your group you're flying now? Is it the Golden Age Stories still?
Yep, Golden Age Stories, and the Federation Frontline is our alliance that we have built now. Since we've got the report already, we decided to build an
And the
alliance
Federation
for it.
Frontline is our public channel.
There you go. And we're Infinite Pew, farming a martyrs all day long.
And if you didn't catch us live on Twitch here, that happens every Sunday at 2200 Eve time. We've been saying it wrong for the last couple episodes, I think, actually, because we've been saying
because of
23.
Fucking daylight savings.
Fuck that shit. But it's always 5 p.m. Central Time or 3 p.m. Pacific Time. You can listen to our podcast, The Federation Frontline Report, on YouTube, on Spotify, iTunes, all over the fucking place. If you have news that you want us to talk about or anything that you want to send us, viewer mail, if we get mail, we'll talk about it. You can
Hate
send
mail.
that.
I'll read hate mail.
Yeah, hate mail. We'll love that too. You can
I should
send.
bring some.
Yes.
I'll bring some the Amar or something next time. It'll be good.
You can send that to Frozen Fallout in-game. That's Frozen space Fallout in-game in EVE Online. Or you can email us at federationfrontlinereport@gmail.com. Thank you all. Have a great night.